Fort Smith.
You guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Reasons to celebrate. Yes, today, one of those days. Not only is it, Wednesday's usually, good enough to celebrate. Waking up healthy and alive, sun shining brightly, not a cloud on the sky, nice and crisp outside. Halfway through the work week and on the way up to the top of the hump, on the way down towards the weekend sometime soon. So, yes, reasons to celebrate today, along with my friends Matt Smackdown Jenkins, Matty T in studios. I'm Phil Elson, and our usual Wednesday guests joining us later on, Clay Henry in 30 minutes, and Bill King at 1:30. Don't forget, Smackdown, we've got to ask Clay Henry to write us a new wrestling character.
Yes.
The Angry Angler, the Flying Fisherman, something like that. So
Absolutely.
we can combine your favorite activity along with Clay's favorite activity.
And forgive me if I'm not paying attention. Me and Matty T got Saturday Night Main Event on our live stream. You could probably see it on the top corner up here.
From 1985.
1985. We got Roddy Piper, Cowboy Bob Orton, and I think we got the Bushwhackers.
The main event is Junkyard Dog, I saw.
Oh, is it? Okay. So forgive me if I'm reminiscing right now.
Good stuff back there, and that it makes me want to listen to the song "Obsession" by the Human League, which I think was the title song for Saturday night's main event.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to have to find that at some point and play it because it's a great song.
It really is.
Really, I mean, it's unfortunate that it's now been just relegated to, hey, that was the Saturday night's main event song.
How dare that? Good
enough to stand on its own. I love Human League stuff.
That's a great song.
Open up a whole can of worms here with Human League in the 80s. Anyway, reason to celebrate. Today is Jackie Robinson Day, celebrating the breaking of the color barrier in Major League Baseball. Of course, everybody, if there was baseball being played today, would be wearing number 42, which makes it a little bit difficult to tell who's at bat and who's running the bases and who's in the field, but obviously not doing that today. We do have another reason to celebrate baseball-wise. I got that in the next segment for you. Today is the beginning of a rather lengthy basketball signing period.
Yeah.
This is, I don't even know if you can call it just a signing period. It's more like a signing season. Hey, this signing period is longer than most of the seasons. It'll go until August the 1st, with the recruiting dead period being extended through the end of next month. There are no chances for on-campus official visits or unofficial visits as well. I guess the only way you could just make an unofficial visit is just by driving to the school and walking around on an empty campus, because you're not getting into any of the facilities and you're not getting face-to-face with any of the coaches. But 3 players have signed their name on the so-called dotted line for Arkansas basketball. One of them signed his name back in November, which, let's see, November, December, January, February, March. That's 5 months. We're in the middle of April here, going through May, June, July, 3-month signing period. And it's been 5 months since Devontae Davis signed his name to be the first member of Eric Musselman's inaugural recruiting class. Jalen Tate and Vance Jackson, well, they were playing for other teams 5 months ago. Other college teams, Tate at Northern Kentucky, Vance Jackson at New Mexico, and we already know them as incoming graduate transfers. So we still await the signing of K.K. Robinson. He is expected to sign during a ceremony on April the 20th. Moses Moody and Jalen Williams have not set dates yet to sign, although Jalen says he's all the way a Razorback, and Moses Moody's given no indication that he won't sign. So things looking really good for this incoming class. And Eric Musselman will finally be able to actually say the names. Jalen Tate, Vance Jackson, Devontae Davis, later on this afternoon during a teleconference that he'll hold at 4 o'clock. And, of course, we'll have all the highlights of that teleconference up on hitthatline.com as soon as it is over. So reason to celebrate what's expected to be SmackDown, a really good basketball signing class starting today.
A lot of hype with this recruiting class. I mean, you get four really good athletes, and you're pairing them with a lot of graduate transfers. There's a lot of reason to be excited right now, more so than in several years. I mean, in past years, you've gotten one, maybe two really good guys, but Phil, I can't remember the last time we've gotten four really good guys coming in via the signing of the national letter of intent here recently, coming out of the high school ranks. So these are going to be some good players, and I think they're going to be expected to get producing right away, depending on how the rest of the offseason goes, whether Isaiah Joe goes or stays, whatever happens with the transfer market. You can expect a lot from these freshmen here coming in the fall. And also, the Razorback men's basketball Twitter account, Eric Musselman, is killing it once again, channeling his inner Allen Iverson with the big giant you remember the telephone in the shoe?
Yeah, it looks like he's got Shaq's shoe as his telephone.
It really does.
You know what, an interesting aspect of this signing class is, every incoming freshman is an Arkansan. Mm-hmm. All four of them. Although, KK was playing at Oak Hill in Virginia, and Moses Moody was playing at IMG Academy. They're all from the state of Arkansas, and that's rare. Plus, there are 4 players from the state of Arkansas already with scholarships, so 8 players from Arkansas on this current team. And, of course, I mean, those are the incoming freshmen. The players that are the graduate transfers who are experienced in the ways of college basketball are not from Arkansas and from outside the state, and they choose the Razorbacks to make their final push before heading to college basketball. Speaking of college basketball and players making their decisions and stuff, I don't have the name of the kid here, but I saw where the top recruit for the University of Michigan, a 5-star recruit, is choosing the G League. He's going to play in the NBA Developmental League instead of going overseas, or as he had initially signed to play at the University of Michigan. The G League is doing what they can to pay enough money for some of these kids where they'll play in the United States instead of playing overseas. And boy, that's going to be interesting. I saw where this kid is potentially going to be making upwards of $125,000 to $150,000. I'm assuming that LaMelo Ball did not make that kind of money when he was playing in Australia, nor did R.J. Hampton. But it's interesting as well, because while we look at the G League as a developmental league SmackDown for the NBA, not every player that's playing in the G League has a connection to one of the NBA teams.
Yep.
And anybody that is coming out of high school to play their 1 year of the G League before being eligible for the draft, well, those kids are going to have a target on their backs like no player in professional sports or a minor league sport would. Even by potentially his own teammates. It's really interesting, and with even before this pandemic hit us, college basketball was going through some pretty interesting changes, and we've already seen it in the last 20 years or so, with players that stick around for 3 years are so rare now. With the one and done thing being prevalent, and you can't go straight to the NBA from high school. This idea of playing in the G League rather than going overseas and potentially, playing against 32, 33-year-old grown men, some with potentially a bitter pill that they're swallowing, playing up against an 18-year-old kid that's making maybe 5 times as much as they are. I just find it very interesting. Obviously, none of these players that are coming into Arkansas are going that route, and I would think most of them are going to be around at least 2, maybe even 3 years.
It's interesting that I've never really heard of this before, like a high school freshman or a high school senior going this route to the G League. The 2 guys that he's referring to is the class of 2020 5-star Isaiah Todd. That was the kid that was supposed to be going to Michigan. So I was reading this article. And then there's also Jalen Green, He's been courted by Memphis and Auburn as potential college spots, but he's also, too, possibly going to the G League, the number 3 player in the 2020 class per 24/7 Sports. So two high-profile athletes going a different route, and it'll be interesting to see kind of what they can make of this.
You get high schoolers going to minor league baseball all the time, but that's the way it's been for years and years. Basketball, this is a completely different thing. Hey, we're brought to you by the Baxter Regional Care app. If you need to see the doctor, or you don't feel good enough to go, or just don't have the time, download the Baxter Regional Care app to your phone or your tablet. You'll find it free in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. The Baxter Regional Care app offers access to 24-hour medical professionals. They can access, diagnose, and treat your condition and prescribe medication if needed. Just $69 per visit to the Baxter Regional Care app. If you don't have a smartphone, just go to BaxterRegionalCare.com for more information. That's the Baxter Regional Care app, your 24-hour on-demand doctor. We'll be right back.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
What's the one thing that, man, I wish I could just eat all of this and it was calorie-free?
Probably chicken.
Yeah.
Fried chicken. You know, I used to love fried chicken, but, you know, now I'm in the mood to like fish, salmon. Just trying to stay in shape and just keep doing things that got me to the right way.
Chicken's more fun, though, isn't it?
Chicken is way more fun.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Spring is here, and there's no better time to get back out on the road. Time for winter's rolled down and radios turned up. Southern Tire Mart proudly offers America's most trusted brands, such as Toyo. They also offer oil changes, tire alignments, and much more. Trust Southern Tire Mart for your last-minute getaways, open-road adventures, and memories that outlast the drive. When you can rely on your tires, you're free to enjoy the ride. Your Toyo tires are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith. Southern Tire Mart and Toyo. They'll keep you rolling.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Evans Body Shop wants you to know that we are here for you. During this uncertain time, let us take the wheel and get your car repaired so you are ready to roll when the time comes. We offer pickup and delivery and will sanitize your vehicle during your complimentary detail that is done with all repairs. Don't want to get out at all? We have you covered. We offer a mobile estimating tool that allows you to take a few pictures and we will email or text your estimate directly to you. Check out our website or Facebook for more details.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Backyard vacations. That's what Burton Pools and Spas can do for you and your family. Hi, Tommy Kraft here for my good friends at Burton Pools and Spas. Have your summer plans been changed? Why not vacation in your own backyard with an in-ground or above-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas? And Burton Pools and Spas understands your summer plans have likely changed. That's why they have special savings to make your backyard your vacation place this summer. Save up to $700 off on Doughboy above ground pool packages. Hot Spring Spas with instant savings and rebates up to $3,300 off. And endless pool fitness systems with $10,000 in savings right now. So pick up the phone and call Burton Pools and Spas today for a safe and easy shopping experience. They'll be glad to visit with you on the phone. Utilize one of their virtual tours online or video chat with one of their pros. Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith and online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Sully!
This is halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
67-66, Vandy's not going to call a timeout. We got an offensive foul. Saban Lee pushed off his 5th foul of the game, and Arkansas is going to get the ball with 8.2 to go.
I told you today is a reason to celebrate, and yes, Jackie Robinson Day is definitely a reason to celebrate, breaking the Major League Baseball color barrier. But I wanted to bring something else up, and it's the breaking of a facial hair barrier in Major League Baseball. That was seemingly up from like the 19-teens until opening day 1973, April 15th. Reggie Jackson sported a mustache, becoming the first Major League player apparently to wear a mustache during a Major League game since 1936. I never realized there was such a long time of basically a ban on facial hair. And this was the attitude that Major League Baseball had. Keep in mind, for a long time, the World Series radio broadcasts were sponsored by the Gillette Shaving Company. And they did this commercial with Dodgers shortstop Pee Wee Reese. And I think this sort of encapsulates the way not just that baseball viewed facial hair, but really America overall, at least at that time.
Pee Wee Reese has a way with Dodger rookies or Sandlot youngsters. Pee Wee, you do a lot of work with boys.
Not work, Al. I like baseball and kids. I enjoy helping teenagers start right.
Oh, that's around shaving age. And you give them pointers on personal appearance, too?
Yes. A boy has more self-respect when he's clean-shaved. I tell him to use a Gillette razor, Al.
More respect when you're clean-shaven, right?
Is that why you're clean-shaven today?
Well, that's just today. That's just because I was sick of the flavor saver more than
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
I was tired of having to eat the same bite of food twice.
Oh, Lordy.
So I'm doing this about once a month now. I'm not going the Clay Henry route where I'm growing a coronavirus quarantine beard. I used to do the facial hair thing in competition with baseball players every May. You know, we would do a mustache May and see who would grow like the really dirty sort of gross-looking mustache with maybe like 6 or 7 sprigs of hair coming out under the nose.
Ugh.
Or by the end of 30 days, man, I mean, I have a chance of looking like Rip Van Winkle. So
is there a picture? I need to see a picture of this.
I'll show it to you at some point.
Oh, man.
But, I mean, can you imagine a world, even just a sports world now, where facial hair is not just not allowed, but frowned upon, you know, viewed as you do not respect yourself, because it seems that, like, the athletes are trying to outdo themselves or outdo the other on whose facial hair is creepier sometimes.
It's weird. I mean, you watch sports today, and nearly everybody has some sort of facial hair.
And they may have, like, tattoos on their neck and stuff, too, now.
Gosh, I mean, can you, like, the tattoos, like, if you think facial hair would have been frowned upon back then, could you imagine what the attitude would be for a pitcher, like any athlete that has a sleeve of tattoos? And think of how many do now. Now it's expected. In the 50s, 60s, 70s, that athlete would probably be banned from the ballpark no matter how good he was.
B in Clarksville just sent us a text and said James Harden doesn't want any part of this conversation.
No, most athletes don't want any of this.
And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, his beard is insured, I believe. Like he has beard insurance, I think. Which
there is such a thing as beard insurance?
Apparently, I want to say that he did.
In case somebody throws a random razor at him that clips the bottom of the beard,
Does he make money off his beard, though? How do you insure?
There's actually an article on here. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, Lord. I don't know how accurate this is. The title of it's The Net Worth and Insurable Value of James Harden's Beard.
How interesting.
The James Harden beard starting at... so it stands to reason.
I've heard of people having body parts insured. Like, I'd always heard J-Lo's behind was insured.
Well, that you got, like, Troy Polamalu from the Steelers. Like, he was in every Head and Shoulders commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think you can point to if James makes a little hey, I mean, how do you think he gets so much space on the step back three? Because it's really difficult to block a shot when somebody's beard is in the way.
That's true.
I have a feeling that's one of the reasons that step back is such an important part of Harden's repertoire.
Is that a travel? It's probably a different conversation, but yeah.
A whole different argument. Bruce and Fort Smith wants to ask if there were tongue studs in early baseball.
Ooh.
Probably not. Hey, I would say probably wasn't banned. Probably wouldn't have been frowned upon because back then, if we're talking ban of the spitball, hey, the tongue stud probably generates a lot of good saliva to get some break on your pitch.
Maybe
that would have been a great way. That probably was one way that Three Finger Brown had such a good career, is that nobody realized he had a tongue stud to generate so much spit.
Maybe they didn't like facial hair because some guys used to hide pine tar in their mustaches.
Well,
you imagine how hard that would be to get the pine tar out of your mustache.
Well, I mean, you've got to have some sort of wax, right?
Yeah.
You've got to have wax for a mustache. Raleigh Fingers, who for me had the greatest baseball mustache of all time, and some pitchers still are trying to mimic that.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get the wax going at the end of the very
you need the
end
little
of, at
points
the tip.
there.
Right.
The wide
you
arc
get
mustache.
Your curls. Mustache wax for a pitcher, that's going to give you at least 2 to 3 inches more drop on your curveball.
I'm sorry. All I'm thinking of is Major League right now.
That's what I'm trying to get you to
I know it. You get another 2 to 3 inches on your Barbasol?
Bardol. You're going to stick Vagisil in your mustache? I doubt it. I don't think that's going to work out.
And if they're watching me close, I'll just put a little jalapeno in my nose and rub my nose.
These days, a jalapeno isn't even hot enough. Go get yourself a Carolina Reaper and put it up your nose. See if that's going to get you to last 9 innings.
Oh, you put snot on the ball?
I ain't got an arm like yours, kid. When you get to my age, you got to use anything you can get.
Man.
But think of this. I mean, Reggie Jackson was an iconoclast of the time. He really was. I don't think we appreciate him for what he was. I think I brought this up. I don't remember if it was you or with Ty a while back about his fight, his feud with Charlie Finley, who was the owner of the Athletics.
Yeah.
And Finley and he had some real interesting, not altercations, but just public spats that was fought out through the media in Oakland. And so Jackson essentially was just trying to be an individual when he shows up opening day wearing a mustache. Finley didn't like it, so he challenged the rest of his team to grow mustaches, thinking that, well, Jackson's such an individual that he's going to shave it off because of this. Well, what did the team do? I've told you about this. What did the team do? They grew mustaches.
Yeah.
They all grew them because Finley offered them $300 per player to grow a mustache. 1973 money. Like, okay, let's see. Mike Trout gets $300 for half the steps it takes him to go from the dugout to the on-deck circle. All right, that's how Mike Trout makes $300, by taking 10 steps to the on-deck circle. In 1973, $300, that's like half a week's salary for some of these players. So they all grew it, every last one of them. That's how Fingers started his mustache. He did not have a mustache before Finley paid him $300 to grow it. That's how Catfish Hunter grew his mustache. Catfish didn't have one either. Joe Rudy had a famous stash from that team. And you know how I feel about superstitions, but I'm not going to tell baseball players to not be superstitious about whatever they need to be comfortable. So the Athletics all grow mustaches. They go in this great streak in April and May, take over first place in the American League West. They win the division. They win the American League Championship. They beat the clean-cut Cincinnati Reds in the World Series
for
their first of a three-peat. They won 3 World Series in a row, something that didn't happen again until the Yankees at the end of the 1990s. And so the Mustache Gang was born, and the next thing you know, SmackDown, everybody's wearing mustaches in baseball. Everybody. Then it became like a thing, and it started today. Reggie Jackson, 1973. So, look, I think the breaking of the color barrier is one of the most important things to happen in American sports, maybe in American culture. But I do think that it is worth celebrating the breaking of the mustache barrier today by Reggie Jackson. And those of us who flaunt the facial hair thing, who flaunt Pee Wee Reese's idea that a young man always feels best when he's fresh-faced, Thank you very much, Mr. October. We'll just call him Mr. Facial Hair now.
Maybe us three should grow mustaches until sports comes back.
That's what Clay is doing.
I haven't shaved in like 2 weeks.
Last time I tried to grow a mustache, my mom slapped me in the face and broke my glasses because I showed it to her. I was like, "Mom, look at my mustache," and she popped me in the face, and then glasses snapped in half.
Well,
I shaved the mustache after that.
I wonder who you think has the greatest mustache in the history of sports. I'm not talking facial hair, okay? I'm not talking about beard. The Brian Wilson thing with the shoe polish all over the beard, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about mustache specifically. Raleigh Fingers, Mark Spitz. My favorite mustache, Lanny McDonald. He was a defenseman for the Calgary Flames in the 70s and 80s. He had bright red hair and a humongous, bushy, red mustache that looked like the greatest flavor saver in the history of facial hair. It's like the guy was still tasting food from 20 years before. And he was a fighter. So, I mean, if you want to beat Lanny McDonald
God, I just found a picture of it. Oh, my Lord.
Just pull the mustache handles down. That's what they were there for.
Ooh.
I'm talking Larry Bird, Craig Stadler,
Dale Earnhardt,
Randy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt. Exactly.
More recently,
sort of stashes.
More recently, you could even throw Gardner Minshew in there too.
There's no doubt about it. Gardner Minshew would belong on the Oakland A's, 1973.
Yep.
He would be perfect for that team. Ditka, Keith Hernandez, guys like that. 877-377-6963. Let us know your favorite sports mustaches of all time. Is there a greatest Razorback mustache of all time? Do we know of any famous Razorbacks that wore mustaches during their time at Arkansas?
That's a Clay Henry question.
We're going to figure that out. All right, we'll ask Clay about that, plus much more after the break as halftime continues.
Your locally owned Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street in Fort Smith will remain open during these unprecedented times. Takeout and curbside orders are available by calling 479-478-9600 or order online at joesfortsmith.com or use the Waiter app on your phone or tablet. Eat local with Joe's Grill and Cantina, 478-9600 or online at joesfortsmith.com. Joe's Grill and Cantina.
Did you know that you can get your car serviced or repaired without ever leaving your house? All you have to do is call Jody's Auto Service Center at 479-649-3399. Jody's will pick up your vehicle, service or repair it for you, and return it fully disinfected to your driveway. Pickup and delivery is free for jobs $75 or more. Jobs less than $75 can be picked up and returned for a $10 fee. Let Jody's Auto Service Centers handle all your service and vehicle repair needs. Call 479-649-3399. Jody's Auto Service Center.
We're now living in uncharted waters with the spread of COVID-19. With the partial closing of a lot of businesses, sadly, some will soon try and turn your possessions into their possessions. Guardtronic has been providing security for homes and businesses for over 60 years. Whether you need a camera system to keep an eye on things or a complete home security system, call Guardtronic 479-785-2323 or go online to guardtronic.com. We have so many worries these days, safety should not be one of them. License E50.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
When it comes to your gas bill, one size does not fit all. So AOG offers many payment options. Did you know you can arrange to pay online with the click of a mouse or pay by phone? You can even sign up for automatic bill payment from your checking or savings account. AOG also has a paperless billing option to reduce that clutter in your mailbox. Of course, you can bring your payment to our 24-hour drop box or to one of many convenient locations throughout our service area. To find a payment option that's a perfect fit, visit AOGC.com.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Joe, for the record, gets it from the corner. Isaiah with the three. That's his 103rd of the year, and he sets an Arkansas record for made three-point baskets in a season.
Welcome back on Halftime ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com. Clay Henry joining us from up there in Norfolk by the river. Beautiful day to be in the natural state. Clay, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. Good to be with you guys.
Good. So before we get into some of the sports conversation here, we were wondering about a way to connect you with Matt Smackdown Jenkins as best as possible, and that's to combine your two loves, you fishing, Smackdown wrestling, and I thought we could create a fishing character from Arkansas, maybe the angry angler, the fighting fisherman, something like this. Is this something that could get you interested in wrestling, perhaps?
I think maybe going fishing with Haystack Calhoun would do it.
So who's Haystack Calhoun?
SmackDown's got to come through with that.
That's the name doesn't ring a bell for me. I'm a new wrestling fan, so forgive me for my old forgive me for that.
I mean, if he can't talk about Danny Hodge or Haystack Calhoun or Mr. Wrestling 2. Those are the wrestlers back in my day that wrestled at Robinson Auditorium and were in the Mid-South Wrestling Federation or whatever they call it.
I think I've seen a picture of this guy before.
But Haystack was, as you might think, he was a big dude, big as a haystack. So just to get Haystack out there fishing, that would be a sight to behold. It'd be like the Sasquatch came down from Push Mountain, which is a little bit of a hill just close to Norfolk. It's a landmark. But I figure there's a haystack up there somewhere, kind of stomping around. But yeah, I mean, I guess if Neighbors came up with that intro for the morning show. That's the John Cena theme. So fishing with John Cena, that would be fun. I think he probably could handle it. Yeah, I think I could tolerate being around him. Some of those wrestlers, I don't think I could. I mean, there's just they're too much artificial to me. Just regular dudes. That's who I like to hang out with. And Matt seems like a regular dude, so we'd be just fine on the river.
He is. I think
it's not about who you want to fish with. It's who you want to go sit on a log for lunchtime and eat your peanut butter and jelly sandwich and your Little Debbie's and a couple of bottles of water and that 30-40 minute break where you just kind of chill. That's those are the guys that's how you fish. You pick your fishing partner, somebody that you can tolerate in that situation, because my wading fishing is we enter at the same spot. We put our waders on at the truck, but then one guy goes up the river and the other guy goes down, and then you return, 5 or 6 hours later, and you lie about how many you caught.
Yeah, we'd fit in perfectly.
Yeah. From what I read about Tavares Jackson, from your piece about him, it sounds like he would have been a good guy to go fishing with. I heard
good
nothing,
dude, nothing
question. Negative about him. Everybody seemed to love him, even though he was a little bit quiet, which honestly for fishing is how you want it, right?
Yeah, and it's, for quarterbacks, that's a little bit of an oddity. Usually those guys, you put a microphone beside them and ask a question, and you can walk off for a while and come back, and they're still talking. Matt Jones was probably an exception to that rule. He wasn't a big talker. But, somebody like Clint Sterner, yeah. Somebody like Barry Lunny. Joe Ferguson, not a big talker. But you go back to in the day, Freddie Marshall. Yeah, he could fill up your notebook. But Tavares, he was kind of low key, except when you saw him throw the ball, and that was not low key. I mean, it's when players say you could hear it. I call it the hummer. They call it the whistler. And when he threw it, the laces spinning would make a whistling sound. And not very many. I saw my whole career covering sports for 40 years. Troy Aikman, I called it the hummer. I heard that in practice at OU when he was there briefly. Then he transferred to UCLA. Joe Ferguson at Arkansas in the early 70s, that's how hard he threw it. Mallet, kind of like that. I was talking to Dow Loggins, and he says yesterday, by the way, talking to Dow Loggins is interesting. He's sitting in his house in New Jersey getting ready for the draft. Those guys cannot leave their houses.
Yeah, they're only allowed to be inside the
house. New York
house.
City, Jersey. He's in the epicenter of, that's the hottest of hot spots where he lives. And he's fine. His family's fine. But he says it's, you get the groceries delivered to the house and you don't go out. And he's got, probably got a few more weeks of that. I'm pretty lucky where I was trying to explain to Dal where I was sitting while I was talking to him. And it's like the extremes of extreme. It's like population 500, the town of Norfolk. You drive about 15 miles and you got Mountain Home with 12,000. And then he's like, well, I drive 12 miles and there's 10 million. That's the but he was talking about he hoped you didn't offend Mallet because he's seen Mallet throw it, but he said Tavares threw it with more velocity than any Razorback quarterback.
Well, you get the sense you never really were able to see what he could have done at Arkansas. Part of it because of the injury his first year, and the other part was that there was just a lot of talent at that position when he was at Arkansas, aside from him.
Yeah, that spring of his first year, it was quite the duel with Matt Jones. And Matt, David Lee said he brought the midline, and he said that was the start of the read option out of the shotgun, that they did that with Matt Jones. And he brought it from after seeing Northwestern beat Michigan 58-56 with that same play. And Zach Clark told me that he was the first one to run that particular play in practice. And he said it's like the Red Sea parted and he just, waltzed to the end zone. And he says Matt never waltzed anywhere. He says, so when he ran it, they're like, okay, that's the guy that needs to be running it, not Zach Clark. But that there were 3 scrimmages that spring, or maybe it was the fall. I think Dow said the spring, but I distinctly remembering coming back in the start fall practice, and they had 3 scrimmages. In the third one, Matt Jones ran the third team offense against the first team defense, and went down the field like 4 straight times. And everybody that was at the practice, players, coaches, media is like, well, we know the quarterback is Matt Jones. When you take the third team and beat the first team, and Tavares is struggling with the first team to beat the third team, it's pretty obvious who's your quarterback. And that's, he saw the handwriting at the end of that fall. He transferred and said, I love it. I'd like to be here, but I know who's going to play. It's going to be Matt Jones, and I got no hard feelings.
Got Clay Henry here on Halftime. Clay, I want to transition over to basketball just for a second off an article that was published on The Athletic a couple days ago. It talked about the same things that we've been discussing. The Razorbacks needed height and they needed depth, and they got both of those things during this offseason. The one thing it brought into question, which I thought nobody's really talked about, was leadership, because next season you're going to lose a lot of the players that you relied on from the leadership category. You've already lost Mason Jones. Theoretically, he could come back, but let's just assume for this conversation Mason Jones isn't coming back. And let's say Isaiah Joe doesn't come back. In your mind, is you need that old school senior leader on a basketball team, or is that something that's kind of faded to the wayside here recently with where you see more freshmen play, more sophomores play? You don't see a lot of like the 4-year senior leader anymore.
Yeah, that's yet to be determined. And the best guy that I ever heard explain leadership for players' sake was Bobby Petrino. And he says, especially when you've got a new coach, and Eric Musselman is 1 year in right now, right? It's 1 year. That's still pretty new. I think that right now the players are following the coach. The best thing they can do is be followers and not leaders. Now, eventually, the coach will anoint a leader, and he will say, hey, this is your team, and you need to take it, and you need to start to do things. But the coach usually figures that out. Who are the guys that are capable of doing that? And you tap them on the shoulder and knight them, so to speak. You see it happening, and and it might be Vance Jackson. It might be, one of these guys, just like a Jimmy Witt was a great leader, and he hadn't been here for 3 years. So I think it can happen but I think that what you do is that you work them in the off season, and you see who the guys are that are leading those drills, and when they decide if they're going to go up Cleveland Hill, use the guy that says, come on, we're going to do this, and I know y'all are all puking, but we're still going to do it. And that's who you say your leader is. And it happens. I think that, Corey Beck had been on campus 1 year, had transferred from South Plains, and still had 2 years to play, but he was a leader almost immediately, and that's what made that team. Corliss Williamson was scared of Corey, and when you got players that are scared of another guy on the team because they know they're going to step up and hold you accountable, that's your leader. So I think it just naturally happens. I don't think you have to say, all right, here he is, I think this is the guy, until it happens. So, yeah, I think it's definitely an issue that has to be determined and settled, but I think it will happen in kind of the natural course of next fall.
You mentioned Vance Jackson just a moment ago. Of Vance Jackson, Jalen Tate, and some of these other graduate transfers that could be coming, maybe the Purdue kid and some others that are coming, of those guys, let's just focus on Jalen Tate and Vance Jackson because they've signed on the dotted line. Of those two, who do you think will make the biggest impact next season for the Razorbacks?
I hadn't really seen either one of them play, and it'd be hard for me to say that. I think they're different type players. One of them is going to have the ball in his hand an awful lot. That would be the guy that I would pick. But they both are good players, and it's in those freshmen that haven't signed yet. They're falling. One guy's here, one guy's there. It might be one of those guys that has the biggest impact. But it's just they're both Jackson and Turner. They're going to be different impacts. One's a perimeter guy and one is more of a front court guy, and they could have the same impact. But I think that the coaches are probably more excited about these guys than probably the transfers last year. And Scylla, it didn't pan out. I think they've got more data, more information to think these guys will be impact guys. Which one is the most? Too early to say.
Clay, today we are celebrating not just Jackie Robinson Day, the breaking of the color barrier, but also the return of the mustache to Major League Baseball, with Reggie Jackson wearing it for opening day 1972. I'd seen that there hadn't been a mustache in a Major League field in like the 40 years before Jackson finally did it. So we wanted to localize it a little bit, and I wonder if you can come up with a favorite Razorback mustache.
What could it be, Nate Allen? I mean, he didn't play for the Razorbacks, but he's been a fixture on our media scene for, since I was a youngster. I got to tell one Nate Allen mustache story. Hal McAfee would be my guy, but I'm going to talk. He was a linebacker in the 70s, 75 Cotton Bowl. He had a nice mustache, if I remember correctly. Basil had a good one. I don't really like to give Basil any props or anything, so I'm going to say he was not in the top 10. He probably was, but I'm going to hold him out of the top. But in the early days of Hogs Illustrated, I went to the coaches and was trying to explain my concept, and Nolan Richardson was, well, who's going to write for you? So I, went through the list, and he goes, well, the guy that I'd like for you to have is, the one that's got the mustache and it's always got like some mustard or something in it. And I was like, Nate Allen? He goes, yeah, that's it, Nate Allen. So, that to me was just classic. I told Nate that, and Nate immediately brushed his mustache to see if there was any mustard in it. I said, no, there's not. Not today. Maybe tomorrow.
That's great.
Yeah. So that's my favorite mustache story.
I will allow Nate Allen to be nominated. Well done, Clay. Thank you so much. Have
You
a
got
great
it,
rest of
guys.
your day, man. We'll talk
Thanks, Clay.
next week.
Same to y'all. Look forward to it every time.
You got it. Clay Henry, Hogs Illustrated, Whole Hog Sports, and mustache representative extraordinaire. I forgot to ask him how long, what his stash is looking like, because he's doing the the coronavirus quarantine no sports beard until sports returns. So we'll have to see how it looks next week, I guess. Otherwise. Let's see. Halftime brought to you by the Fenceman. If you own a business that needs more security or needs more curb appeal, call 479-782-3936. That's the Fenceman. They got a fence that can give you both security and curb appeal. The Fenceman specializes in custom installations. Been doing it for over 40 years. 479-782-3936. Give them a call. They'll be there for a quick, no-obligations quote. The Fenceman's a division of Quantum Property Services. Wrapping up the first hour of halftime next.
Even though things have changed right now, CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers remains open to help keep your family fed. You don't have to sacrifice the wonderful flavor of fresh, daily ground beef burgers or piping hot fries at all. The Fayetteville location on Weddington delivers lunch or dinner through the Waiter app, or come on over and use the drive-thru. CJ's in Russellville is open for pickup during normal business hours, and as always, they're making sure everything is sanitized and safe for you. Don't forget to download the CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers smartphone app for an easy way to order. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers has you covered, because when all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
Drive-through.
The Arkansas Attorney General warns Arkansans to be aware of scammers impersonating government officials calling or emailing about COVID-19 economic stimulus package eligibility. The AG tells people to only rely on official government websites for economic relief information. Never give personal information over the phone or by email. The U.S. government will not be contacting you to determine your eligibility for the stimulus package. If you are contacted by a potential scammer, call the Arkansas AG at 800-482-8982 or visit the arkansasag.gov website.
Guys, waking up over and over to pee is not okay. But now, you can reduce those nighttime bathroom trips with the ingredients in Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced. We're talking about less urges to pee at night, less bathroom trips during the day, and better bladder emptying.
It's like taking 3 prostate supplements in one.
You can try a full 30-day bottle of
P3 Advanced. Free. Just pay shipping and handling.
No strings attached, no obligations, and no commitments to buy. This is a 30-day supply, absolutely free.
Call 1-800-479-6590.
Super Beta Prostate is the best-selling brand in major retailers like Walmart. But for this no-strings-attached free bottle, you must call now.
Call 1-800-479-6590.
Don't miss out on this unprecedented free offer.
Call 1-800-479-6590. 1-800-479-6590.
Spring is here, and it's time to get outdoors. Just arrived at Jelco Outdoors. New spring footwear by Solomon, sandals by Aerosol, Keen, Sanuk, and the largest selection of work and safety footwear for men and women in the River Valley. Jelco Outdoors, serving the River Valley with quality footwear since 1983. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
What happened to paying one price and getting everything included? You buy an airline ticket and pay extra to bring a change of clothes, book a hotel room, and you're shelling out for Wi-Fi and overpriced bottled water. Really? Imagine my delight when I found out roadside assistance is now included with my shelter insurance auto policy. So if I get a flat tire and need a jump, I just call and they take care of me. There's no additional cost, but some restrictions apply.
Ask shelter agents Randy Milam or Brad Howe about a free insurance review.
Are your appliances struggling? Do you need that part and not sure where to go? Mid-South Distributing has you covered with 9 locations in the Arkansas area. Appliance parts and accessories for all major brands of appliance. Mid-South Distributing has you, the customer, in mind when you're needing that part for your appliance. Mid-South Distributing. Check out midsouthparts.com to find your location near you. Mid-South Distributing. We're in your neighborhood.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
This is halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
6 seconds remain. Madden puts it up. Wow! What a finish! Bobby Portis, the magic man, arrives just in time. The tip-in and zeros on the clock.
We got a couple of nominees for great Razorback mustaches. Greg in Fort Smith said Connor Nolan would have had one heck of a mustache this year. He would have. You'd think he looked like he was growing it out. He had the goatee going and everything. It did look pretty good. Casey Martin had started to grow one. I had forgotten about Ron Calcagni.
Yeah, he had a good one.
Yeah, still does, as far as I remember the last time I saw him. That would have been, late 70s mustache look? The David Basil mustache would have been 83, 84. Everybody was trying to be like Magnum P.I. then.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, that probably would have been late 70s, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll continue to take your nominees for great mustache all-time. We want to localize it to the greatest Razorback mustache. Got a text from the 479, likes the Hulk Hogan mustache. That one was good, yeah.
Would you call that a mustache, or would you call that I call it more of a handlebar than anything.
Well, it's not. Well, really not a handlebar, because it came all the way down here. I think that's a Fu Manchu.
Yes, you're right. Excuse me.
The Iron Sheik had a good one.
The Iron Sheik, very good one.
I did just see that on this wrestling that's on the TV.
See there? It's already
Jason
happening.
in Frankfurt liked Al Roboski's, former reliever, Cardinals, Royals, a couple other teams known as the Mad Hungarian. If you ever really want to be entertained, SmackDown, Google Al Roboski Mad Hungarian intro, because this guy almost looked legitimately crazy when he would come out of the bullpen. Before he would get the ball each inning, he would psych himself up into a total frenzy where he looked like he was insane, and he had the mustache and the hair to go along with it. Let's see. We do have some great programming scheduled for you at the end of the week, as Learfield IMG will be giving us 2 great Razorback games to re-air broadcasts. That'll include our first baseball rebroadcast. We'll have a football game, 2016, the 2016 victory in double overtime against number 15 TCU. That was one of the banner wins for Arkansas under Brett Bielema. Of course, that season finished highly disappointingly with 3 losses in a row, including the Belk Bowl loss to Virginia Tech. But the win over TCU was definitely a great one in double overtime. And also rebroadcasting the 2018 College World Series victory against Florida.
That's next weekend, though.
That's next weekend.
Yes.
Okay, so this weekend is just football.
Correct.
The weekend after is baseball. All right, very good.
And we anticipate doing this at the same time this weekend and next weekend. Friday from 7 to 9 p.m., Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m., and then again Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m.
Okay, so and they'll continue putting these broadcasts out for the foreseeable future because we do not have live sports to play for you.
Do we not? I didn't know we didn't have sports going on right now.
Unfortunately,
yeah, it's breaking news.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay. I've been living under a rock for the past couple of weeks.
And I look, I mean, have you watched any of the horse tournaments that have been put on by ESPN? I can't imagine a more boring thing to watch. A horse tournament?
How does that work? Are they doing it from remote locations?
They must be just from somebody's driveway. I mean, that's one thing you can't broadcast on radio. It's only TV. Who's going to sit there and listen to, and here's lining up a 15-footer from the left elbow. Here it goes. I will say, have you ever listened to a golf radio broadcast? There is such a thing.
A golf
radio? And I remember early on in radio, I was working weekends, and a couple times would be carrying them, and they would have so much dead air that the dead air alarm would go off because it'd be so quiet.
Yeah, I've heard of the same issue with certain baseball broadcasts every once in a while, too.
That actually did happen.
Yeah, I think it happened 2 months ago. Not when I was on the call, though. I try not to go, 7 to 10 seconds without saying anything. It's weird when you listen to games or sporting events on radio that you just wouldn't have pictured that they do them on radio. But all of these games, we picture sports broadcasts as being, team versus team, a lot of back and forth. But, I mean, if you ever – and we don't carry these games, but when I first started in radio, I was working weekends for a station that ran Motor Racing Network. And I'm not into auto racing at all, but I'll tell you what, listening to those broadcasts of the Daytona 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 and all of that, that was amazing to hear them put that together. Listen to a tennis radio broadcast, golf radio broadcast. Have you ever listened to volleyball on the radio?
I have done volleyball. I've actually done play-by-play for volleyball before.
That really blew me away. Working in California in Stockton, the city hosts the University of Pacific. They've got a big-time women's volleyball program. All of their games are on the air with sponsors, or at least they were 20 years ago. And it's like, wow, I never imagined somebody would do this before.
See, I could see all that, like auto racing, volleyball. I mean, we've done it. Soccer. Excuse me. Never would have imagined golf. I've never heard of that. Golf having a radio play-by-play.
You can do it too. I mean, and why not? So if ESPN can broadcast the World Spelling Bee Championship,
true. Can't
you do spelling bees on the radio? I think that would work.
Yeah.
You could have a Scrabble tournament on the radio. That would work too. Nobody could cheat.
True,
We're just trying to figure out ways to program, sports radio stations for the next 3-4 months.
Well, we're fixing to have probably plenty of stuff to talk about when this Michael Jordan documentary hits too, because there is no telling the revelations that may come out of this thing.
By the way, I saw, and I'll bring this up later, the ESPN is airing 2 versions of The Last Dance.
That's interesting.
One on ESPN2 with a bunch of bleeps, the other on ESPN without the bleeps.
Oh. Does ESPN usually carry stuff that's completely uncensored like that?
Nope. Which one do you think is going to have higher ratings?
Right.
I tell you that. We'll be back after this, second hour, halftime on a Wednesday.
B&J Comfort Solutions provides home comfort and energy solutions to the River Valley, specializing in residential sales, service, and installation, offering only the absolute best customer service around. Call them for any of your service, maintenance, or replacement needs. B&J Comfort Solutions offer an industry-leading 5-year labor warranty on all new system installations. Veteran-owned and operated, and satisfaction is always guaranteed. Contact B&J Comfort Solutions today at 479-646-0284.
You have work to do. You need a tractor that helps get it done. TYM has the full range of tractors designed to meet the task. With the TYM easy-to-use controls and features, switching from one job to another is easy. And with the full range of models from 19 horsepower to 105 horsepower turbo, there is a TYM tractor that's right for the job and for you. But you can't buy a TYM tractor just anywhere. It's only sold at authorized TYM dealers like Bush Tractor, 7301 South Zero, Fort Smith.
Are your workouts more fun than this? Well, if they are, then I want to sign you to an endorsement deal with Michelob Ultra. I'm looking for anyone and everyone who makes working out a blast. If that's you, head to TeamUltra.com for a chance to score awesome perks like Team Ultra gear and more. That's TeamUltra.com to enter.
No purchase necessary. Open U.S. residents 21 plus. See official rules at TeamUltra.com. Message and data rates may apply. Void where prohibited. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
A decrease in the clouds, some patchy frost tonight. Overnight lows will drop down in the low to mid 30s. I think we're looking at sunshine Wednesday. High temperatures will be warmer in the low to mid 60s. As we head into Thursday, lots of sunshine. Our high in the mid to upper 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson. Make sure to listen to The Morning Rush every weekday morning from 6 to 9 on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
I hate everything you just said. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
You guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
You
want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it! Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play!
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
All right, we are on the downslope towards the weekend. Thank goodness, too. Phil Elson here along with Matt Smackdown Jenkins, Matty T. It is a gorgeous Wednesday. Certainly excited to get outside once this radio show is done.
It was a little chilly this morning. I could see my breath when I was walking my dog.
A little chilly. I think you usually use the term crisp to describe a day like this.
Truck was frosted over this morning, too.
It was a bit nippy.
Just a tad bit.
Maybe. Sorry.
Let's go ahead and laugh that one up, Fuzzball.
No, I was not.
That's okay.
It made me think of Christmas Vacation. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Well, there's many reasons to think of Christmas Vacation. Yeah. Many reasons, including the one that Matty T just mentioned. No, can't see the lines, Russ. Not at all. So wondering what leads the charge when sports returns. And we've got a couple of options here. I keep getting asked, do you think it's going to be baseball? Will it be football? Will it be basketball? We've got to think a little bit outside the box. So, Smackdown, let me give you two ideas here, okay? Right. Which sport do you think is going to lead the comeback? Because I read earlier this morning that the PGA wants it to be golf and that they are already scheduling out for their first tournament for the restart. June 18th is what I'm looking at here. June 18th through the 21st. That's when the U.S. Open was supposed to be held, but instead they're going to hold they'll hold a tournament in Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, on that day, and planning to hold the tournament without fans and then keep a week-by-week schedule, which would lead to eventually the Masters being played November the 12th through the 15th. So, so the PGA obviously travels around the country, going from Texas to Connecticut to Detroit to Illinois to Ohio, Minnesota, Memphis for the St. Jude Invitational at the end of July. This is the sort of thing that will, I guess, be celebrated, but at the same time, this will be games without fans, not games, rounds without fans. And it's the nature of golf, to separate the players from each other anyway. Never have more than two going at the same time with their caddies. So I think it makes sense. So do you think it'll be golf, or do you think that maybe Major League Eating will be the first sport that makes it back? Because the Major League Eating League says that they are going to have something going on this weekend.
Yes.
Hey, if you don't think professional eating isn't a sport, you go ahead and try to down 50 hot dogs in an hour.
And try to be Joey Chestnut. No, to go back on your first point, golf is probably the easiest sport to still exhibit quote unquote social distancing and kind of keep that distance between each other, because like you said, on the course at a time, or at least at a hole, there's just 4 guys. And then depending on how they do the broadcast with cameras and all that good stuff. No, I think golf and tennis would probably be the easiest ones to get back up and going. It kind of surprised me about Wimbledon when they decided to, or not Wimbledon, maybe it was. There was a big, Wimbledon. Was it Wimbledon? Okay, I couldn't remember if it was, which one it was, but those two are probably the easiest ones to socially distance without fans in attendance. So to agree with your first point, yes, I think if they can easily get the players down there and not really try to spread the COVID-19 and anything like that, I think they're in good shape to try to get golf back up and started and at least give us content. Now, back on your other point, the more important stuff, Major League Eating, I didn't know this was a league, but I'm all in.
The MLE?
The MLE.
You got MLB, MLS, MLE.
Absolutely.
So
this is great. This is going to be a great competition.
This is going to happen. It's planned for April the 17th, a live-streamed event, which will start with 2 pounds of sliced bologna. That's the qualifying round.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
okay.
After that, the quarterfinals, you're going to have to down 1 family pack of Oreos and an entire half-gallon of milk.
I wonder how much time there is in between rounds.
The semifinal round includes 1.5 gallons of baked beans.
Oh, God.
Barbecue baked beans?
They've got to be. Probably no, just a big gallon, half of pork and beans.
And the final round might be something that some people are already down to.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard this on a radio station a week ago. Somebody admitted to making ramen noodles with a slice of American cheese on top of it, as if that was the topper to a delicious meal. 10 individual cups of ramen noodles for the finals. 10 individual cups. You realize how now it's not
how much sodium that is.
Exactly. Too. You're like downing your entire. That's an entire ocean's worth of sodium.
You're like blood veins are going to dry up.
Joey Chestnut probably ain't got no blood veins after how many hot dogs that boy can put down.
So, I mean, the winner only gets $5,000. This isn't nearly enough money to gorge yourself like this.
Hang on. No, they're doing this for charity. They're donating $10,000 to Feeding America. So it's for a good cause. But
no, donating for the $10,000 is great, but somebody that's got their stomach distending all the way down to the ground needs more than $5,000 just to call Roto-Rooter up, for crying out loud.
You're going to spend $5,000 in toilet paper.
Exactly. That's part of the issue here. How many of the cities that these people live in are suffering from the shortages of TP?
Yeah. I love the quote in here from the MLE chairman, George Shea. He said, while there's been substantial discussion about which professional sport will be the first to return, with baseball, basketball, golf, MMA all floating recent potential return plans, competitive eating is the first to come back. It is a powerful statement to American resilience.
It is a powerful statement that you can't even say anything because you've got a mouthful of ramen noodles.
Oh.
You can't speak at that moment.
I genuinely, I could probably give it a go with the milk and cookies. Oreo. I don't know how fast I could do it, but I'd give it the good old college try.
That's the one would be good. But I keep picturing in my mind though the scene from Stand By Me where he's telling the story. You know, what was his name? Lardass.
Yeah.
SmackDown. That's fine if you can kill the milk and cookies, but you need to have enough room for the 2 pounds of bologna.
I could do that.
1.5 gallons of baked beans.
Easy money.
And the 10 cups of ramen.
I'll bet the baked beans they would project nicely. You know, if you did have a full-fledged Barfarama.
Barfarama.
Yeah.
Well, in radio, those of us with nice voices like SmackDown are really good at projecting. So
we are.
He wouldn't have an issue with
it.
it.
I wouldn't want to be sitting.
I learned that in theater classes in high school.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, Dr. Fauci said today that that he does anticipate sports can return without fans. You know, as long as the athletes are kept in hotels and tested about once a week. I don't think anybody asked him about competitive eating, and maybe they should. Maybe they should. It's what America needs. America needs some form of real competition, not this wrestling pre-scripted stuff. You know, don't tell me that that American eating challenges are scripted. It's just not true. This is the real thing.
W. Wicks had the good question. How many calories is that? Because you were talking about sodium.
Like in a ramen noodles. I wonder how much one ramen noodle.
Because that,
let me look that up.
I mean, every bit of these meals, probably with the exception of, milk is good for you, and Oreos are just good for the soul. Man, I don't.
So you're eating like 2,000 calories in ramen noodles alone, 2 pounds of bologna. I mean, never mind the fat content, never mind the calorie content. I think you're talking about at least 1 million times the allowed sodium content per day. Everything here has an enormous amount of sodium. It's just $5,000. You'd need $100,000 just for what you're doing to your body here.
Maybe we could do the $5,000 and do the Hearty Stick Burger Challenge.
Well, you need a sponsorship in order to do that thing first.
Oh, true. Okay.
You know, these things we've got. You know, you can't put the horse in front of the cart. Sponsorship first, eating challenge second.
Yes.
That's got to be how this thing works. So, all right, maybe it'll be golf. Maybe it'll be eating. Maybe these two things will end up coming together.
290 calories in a cup of noodles package. So what is that times 10?
I mean, so now you're talking 2,500, 3,000 calories.
Oh, my God.
Bologna, 2 pounds of bologna, I think, is, you're probably talking about, I'm going to take a wild guess here, that this is probably like 25,000 calories at one sitting. For just $5,000? You better have a higher, I love sports stats, you better have a higher dollar-to-calorie ratio than that. Please. Pretty please. 877-377-6963. Bill King coming up in 20 minutes. Talk college football with him. And we'll end the show with Change My Mind. Good to be with you on this Wednesday. It's halftime.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
What's the one thing that, man, I wish I could just eat all of this and it was calorie-free?
Probably chicken.
Yeah.
Fried chicken. You know, I used to love fried chicken, but, you know, now I'm in the mood to like fish, salmon. Just trying to stay in shape and just keep doing things that got me to the right way.
Chicken's more fun, though, isn't it?
Chicken is way more fun.
Don't miss The Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Spring is in the air, the toms are a-gobbling, and turkey season is almost here. Jelco Outdoors has all your turkey hunting supplies, box calls, mouth calls, pot calls, locator calls, decoys, vest, camo clothing, boots, shotguns, chokes, chairs, blinds, and lots of ammo. A great turkey hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors. This spring, shop local at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
The Paint Store in Van Buren is ready to help with your projects, and they'll put 32 years of experience to work in helping you choose a new color or match the one you really need. In addition to a computer, they use their eyes and minds to see color and make adjustments to choose just the right Richards Paints product for your project. They keep samples in your name and address for 10 years. No other paint seller does this. Come see the large selection of the current and popular paint colors from Richards Paints and experience customer service you won't get anywhere else. The Paint Store, 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
Full-time farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine & Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine & Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine & Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. To go, curbside pickup, or delivery for all your Fridays favorites. See the full menu of appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, salads, all the great Fridays signature entrees, kids meals, and of course, dessert online at Fridays.com. Also check out Fridays Butcher Shop. Premium meats ready for you to cook at home. Call TGI Fridays to place your order. 479-484-0906. That's 484-0906. Or order online at Fridays.com. Your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith. Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. Get amazing fast fiber internet, 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for only $79.95 per month. TV packages from the basics to our amazing Altered TV, starting at $32.95. Fiber phone services start at $29.95. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out if we are installing in your area, or call 1-833-4-WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Evans Body Shop wants you to know that we are here for you. During this uncertain time, let us take the wheel and get your car repaired so you are ready to roll when the time comes. We offer pickup and delivery and will sanitize your vehicle during your complimentary detail that is done with all repairs. Don't want to get out at all? We have you covered. We offer a mobile estimating tool that allows you to take a few pictures and we will email or text your estimate directly to you. Check out our website or Facebook for more details.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Shot clock's at 10. Jones forces a three, and it goes anyway. Wow, Mason Jones with a three. Arkansas's up 67-62. Archie Miller wants a timeout with 2:01 to go.
Had what I thought was a kind of a cool Razorback moment yesterday after the show. I'm up in Fayetteville, and I like to run the Razorback Greenway. It's 33 miles long, so take your pick of where it is you want to start. Right outside the Bachelor Pad by MLK, we've got an entrance to the Greenway. That's usually how I get on it, so I wanted to drive a little farther down the Greenway, a little closer to the middle of Fayetteville. So I drive over Hill Road, and out of the left side of the car, I notice a large gentleman running the hill. He's got a bandana to hold a lot of his hair back. He looks like he's about 6'1", 6'2", about 260, 270. He's wearing a Razorback workout shirt. And I remembered seeing a video, I think it was last week on Twitter. I don't remember the account that had sent the photo out, of McTelvin Agim running the stairs between Razorback Stadium and the Student Union, way up at the top of the hill. I mean, that's that's tough enough to walk up, especially after some tailgating. Running up that thing is a whole other story. And I was reminded that when I drive by him yesterday, I'm like, look who this is. This is Sosa Agim, essentially doing his workouts for the NFL draft, which is now in less than 2 weeks. So, and hey, driving past or walking past a Razorback during this time of the year at the University of Arkansas is not a novelty, but it is right now. It is without really many or any of the athletes around here, and so it's just the day before I bicycled by Baum-Walker Stadium. I didn't see any ball players or coaches around there. The parking lot was totally empty, so I thought it was kind of cool to see McTelvin running the hill and prepping for the NFL draft, because if things were normal, there was no way that he would be prepping for the draft outside on the hill. He would be inside the Fred Smith Football Center with just about everybody else who was getting ready for next year, and he'd be getting ready for next year in his own way. So I wonder who I'm going to drive by today. Probably nobody, except if I drive by Hill Road again, maybe I'll see McTelvin once again.
Worth a shot.
Worth a shot. We'll see what we can do with it. We find our small joys wherever we can these days.
Absolutely. We got to.
Which includes figuring out the greatest Razorback football game of all time. The bracket continues today. Let's see, who was our bracket side yesterday? Yesterday was the Hatfield region, correct, Smack?
That is correct. Yesterday, no, excuse me, Paul Eel region was
Paul Eel's
was yesterday. Today we got the Nut region. Pretty much everything moved on as it should.
I love this matchup that we're going to have in the Eels region, because the 78 Orange Bowl moved on to face Miracle on Markham 2 from 2008. You're really going to get some great Sweet 16 matchups.
Absolutely. That one, you got a great one right below it in the number one. Got tongue twisted. The 2007 matchup against number one LSU, which was Houston's last game, versus Houston's other probably biggest moment with Clint Stern and Anthony Lucas. Stern to Lucas in 99 against number 3 Tennessee. So lots of good Sweet 16 matchups to correspond over back towards the Broyles region. It's going to be a lot of fun in the Sweet 16.
So today is the Hatfield region, right?
No, today's the Nut region.
Nut region.
Nut.
Why am I stuck on Kenny Hatfield?
Just jumping ahead. You're ready for the weekend.
It's because I haven't heard any of those harps ads that I usually hear in my head during baseball games. That's why I'm thinking of them.
Yeah, we are
those fresh farmers rolls and Martha Harp's fried chicken. And
got the Houston Nut region today. The overall number 1 seed is the 1964 game at number 1 Texas. There's nothing else you really need to say about that. You know where you were for that game if you're an older listener, and if you're at my age, you've seen plenty of highlights with that over the years. It's taking on the 2011 matchup against Tennessee that featured the Joe Adams punt return where he juked off like probably what felt like 37,000 defenders and returned it for a touchdown. The 5 seed, the 2001 matchup against the 2001 matchup 7 overtime victory against Ole Miss, taking on the 95 matchup against Alabama, which was the first ever win against Alabama. That is a 5-4 matchup. The next one is a 6-3 matchup. The 6th seed, the 2006 double overtime victory against Alabama, taking on the 79 matchup against number 2 Texas. And then the weirdest matchup, probably out of this one, the 15th seed, the 2016 matchup against number 15 TCU, beat the 75 matchup against number 2 Texas A&M. Tommy Kraft was not a happy camper about that. For whatever reason, and then
there's no way that victory over TCU, which we are airing, by the way, this weekend on our classic Razorback broadcast.
Yes, great game.
A victory over an overranked TCU team early in a season should not be any better than beating a number 2 ranked team, no matter what time of the year it was.
That's what our listeners voted for, and then they're taking on the 7th seed 2007 against number 23 South Carolina when DMAC ran all over the Gamecocks for 321 yards.
These are unscientific polls. Everything on Twitter is, and that's why when I look at some of the polls that come out on Twitter, it's all just for fun. So are we supposed to be upset that on the College Baseball Nation Twitter feed poll about the best college ballpark in America, that Baum Stadium was upset, quote unquote, upset by Swayze Field yesterday on a last hour comeback? I mean, look, I mentioned it on the show. I think I retweeted it once. I feel no guilt. I don't have any disappointment over it because I also know the truth of the situation, that Baum-Walker Stadium is without question a nicer baseball park than Swayze Field. Anybody that's been to either one of those 2 stadiums, I don't think can logistically say or logically say that the Ole Miss situation, which is a nice ballpark with a great fan base and good facilities, even comes close to touching what you have at Baum-Walker Stadium. So I don't feel bad about it. What I do feel bad about is that I didn't take the opportunity yesterday to make fun of Ole Miss, which is just fun to do.
Let's do it. You got time right now.
I had no opportunity to do it this year, and last year I had 2 chances to do it because Ole Miss visited Baum-Walker Stadium twice and beat Arkansas in the regular season 2 out of 3. But then, of course, we know Arkansas won the series that mattered, beating Ole Miss 2 out of 3 in the Super Regional. So, the Rebels can have their cute little victory in this completely non-scientific Twitter poll about the best college ballpark, which obviously was just heavily voted on by Mississippians because they are facing Dudy Noble Field in the final, so it's an all-Mississippi final. But look, Ole Miss, I could have had some fun with this yesterday, just talking a little smack about it. You know what Omaha stands for as an anagram, SmackDown?
Let's hear it. No, I don't.
Omaha, OMAHA, Ole Miss at home again. That's what it stands for because they've been to Omaha like once in the last 30 years and have had plenty of opportunities to be there too, including last season. Yeah. With all of their funny, cute little home run celebrations and stretching routines and mid-inning dance routines and all their khakis and powder blues and everything like that and all of that sort of stuff. They still couldn't get to Omaha. So, hey, you can have your non-scientific Twitter poll victory. We'll take a 10th trip to Omaha last year. I think you would probably, and I'm speaking to Ole Miss fans, you too would be perfectly happy taking the trip to Omaha over the empty victory that you got last night.
Wow. Phil's dropping bombs right now.
Can I say it any clearer?
No.
I love going to Ole Miss. I think it's one of the prettiest campuses that I've ever visited. I love the facilities. The Pavilion basketball arena is beautiful. The atmosphere at the baseball games is outstanding. I love the beer showers they do in the student section. I love some of the traditions they have. It's weird, though, that it's the only baseball park I've ever been to that has marble counters in the broadcast booth. Makes no sense to have something that bounces sound so well like marble as the thing that's right there in front of you. So I didn't think anybody was thinking about that. But the preppiness can be a little much sometimes. The cutesiness, the cute little cheers and everything can be a little bit much sometimes. And hey, but Ole Miss got to Ole Miss, so they'll just be who they are. And I guess we just have to accept it. We just have to accept that they had more people push a button than Arkansas did, which has nothing to do about one ballpark being better than the other.
Got some former Razorback news for you, too, that just came across on the ESPN Twitter feed for you. Former Razorback tight end Hunter Henry, sources saying to ESPN he has signed the franchise tag with the L.A. Chargers, making him the highest paid tight end in the NFL, earning $10.6 million on the one-year deal.
Well done, Hunter.
He, in 41 career games, caught 136 passes for over 1,700 yards and 17 touchdowns. So good for Hunter Henry, highest paid tight end in the NFL.
On a one-year deal, which should leave him open to free agency after this contract, if I remember correctly.
I think that's right, because he hadn't been out of the league. Let's see. He graduated, was it 16 he left? Beelum was last year?
Yeah, well, and who the heck is going to be throwing to him?
Right.
The Chargers haven't figured out their quarterback situation yet.
You got a Cam Newton sitting out there that you could probably go get if you're the Chargers. You may draft somebody. You could trade up in the draft. You still got a Jameis Winston sitting out there. He can throw a lot of touchdowns. He throws a lot of interceptions to go with it. There's a lot that the Chargers can do, but whoever the quarterback is for the Chargers, they got a surefire catcher in Hunter Henry.
Well, they're definitely going to have to be looking at a quarterback without question after losing Phillip Rivers to the Colts. So they're going to probably have to be looking at somebody in the draft. Something to talk about with Bill King after the break. But first, SmackDown, let them know what's going on with BetUS horse racing.
Yeah, BetUS Racing. They got horse racing, sportsbook, blackjack, roulette, 200-plus casino games. They have got you covered if you've got the boredom blues right now. And for you great listeners, you've got a $500 welcome bonus with your name on it. All you have to do is go to betusracing.com/Morning Rush to claim your $500 welcome bonus. No need to get out when you have access to all of this from your computer or your mobile device. Go to betusracing.com/Morning Rush.
Spring
We're back
is
in a
here,
moment.
and there's no better time to get back out on the road. Time for winters rolled down and radios turned up. Southern Tire Mart proudly offers America's most trusted brands, such as Toyo. They also offer oil changes, tire alignments, and much more. Trust Southern Tire Mart for your last-minute getaways, open-road adventures, and memories that outlast the drive. When you can rely on your tires, you're free to enjoy the ride. Your Toyo tires are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith. Southern Tire Mart and Toyo. They'll keep you rolling.
Do you find yourself smacking yourself in the face every time you walk out in your yard? Well, Mosquito Joe can fix your itch. Mosquito Joe has a team of licensed, professional mosquito control experts to rid your yard of those pesky mosquitoes so you can actually enjoy your yard anytime, day or night. To get started for just $39, call Mosquito Joe today, 479-202-9960. That's 202-9960, or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
In sports, success is measured in the number of points scored, in games won, and in championships earned. At Shelter Insurance, we measure success in the quality of our products and services, in our community support, in being there when you need us. In fact, 9 out of 10 people surveyed with a claim would recommend Shelter to a friend. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Ask Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith or Jim Malum in Charleston about Shelter's home insurance.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Telephone and internet services have never been more critical than now. This is Drake Smith with Pinnacle Telecom letting you know that our company has invested millions of dollars in this area to build the finest network available for times just like this. More importantly, we employ the best and brightest technicians to make sure the network performs to your expectations. Come join our family and rest in the security we offer our Pinnacle family members. Pinnacle Telecom, tomorrow's technology today.
We're now living in uncharted waters with the spread of COVID-19. With the partial closing of a lot of businesses, sadly, some will soon try and turn your possessions into their possessions. Guardtronic has been providing security for homes and businesses for over 60 years. Whether you need a camera system to keep an eye on things or a complete home security system, call Guardtronic 479-785-2323 or go online to guardtronic.com. We have so many worries these days, safety should not be one of them. License E50.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, City!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Baseline drive. Sills feeds Joe left corner. Step back. 3 on the way from Isaiah. Perfect. Nothing but the bottom for Joe. And the Hawks are up 45-28.
I've been saying he's the best shooter in the country.
Back on Halftime, ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. With about 30 minutes left here on our show, we go to Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio, morning host 6 to 9. He is the king of college football talk. Bill, I know you usually are using the grill no matter what is going on in the world, but are you grilling a little bit more than usual during quarantine life? Has that changed at all for you?
No. Normal. I use the grill more than I use the kitchen. So, excuse the voice. So I'd say 4 out of 7 days at least I'm out there. Even Sunday when we were having a monsoon and maybe threatening tornadoes that you saw, a lot of people got the bad end of that. We pray for them. I cook right out in the middle of all that stuff.
Are you a charcoal or a gas guy? Does it matter?
No, neither. Wood or pellets, because I've got the RecTech, the fancy, very expensive RecTech, and that's pellet technology. What that is it's sawdust, but it's ground up and then made into little pellets, and that's how you fuel the pellet grills, and it's wonderful. You can set the temperature, and I cook briskets overnight, 20-pounders, 18-pounders. I'll start at about 9 o'clock, go to bed, get up the next morning at 8, and it's still sitting there at 225.
Yeah.
And you can check it on your phone. The temp.
That's great. Yeah, SmackDown.
You can be at the grocery store, and you can start it up from your app to be ready for when you get home with your meat.
I got to look into this. I'm a big barbecue guy myself, Bill, and that I've seen a lot of like the pellet smokers and different things you see on like the Travel Channel and barbecue shows, but pellet smokers are the way to go. Absolutely.
Guys, asking me whether I like charcoal or gas would be like me saying, would it be okay if you're a 180-pound offensive lineman in the SEC? That's what kind of question that is, guys.
In 1940, it would have worked just fine. Yeah. In today's day and age, not so much. So would you rather be known as the king of the grill or the king of college football talk? Because it sounds like you could be both.
I think the grill's more popular right now. We got nothing.
That's right. That's right. So let me ask you this, and I know this was actually mentioned by, I think maybe one of your least favorite people in college football. Chris Fowler brought it up, I think, last week. The idea of maybe the college football season starts January or February, if it's the idea of getting fans back, or maybe if it's the idea of the students aren't back yet, so you can't have the players back on campus yet. Do you think that a college football season that starts January or February at the same time that you might have basketball going on, is this feasible? Is this something that we can do?
I don't see any way. I mean, what are you going to do about TV with the basketball overlap? Basketball already has a horrible problem with perception. College football's killed it, and it overlaps with a season. Nobody can even tell you when basketball starts. Mm-hmm. Even the basketball junkies, most of the time, don't even know. And it doesn't really even become relevant until March. So you would just further destroy it if you did that. And what would you do then? Have your championship game in April or wherever, May, a couple of weeks go by, and then you're back in camp? I mean, and what if you're a rising junior, and then that's your next season? And you're a really high draft pick? You know you're going to be high. You're one of those very few. Do you just take it off the next fall? I mean, just got through playing. I just don't. I don't get it. I think they've got to play this fall. Doesn't have to start perfectly on time. Doesn't have to have everybody in the stands on time. But I think they have to do that. There's an article we went over this morning. I believe it was USA Today. This is just the Power 5 schools. Just the P5 now. If we somehow don't get to football, it's going to cost the Power 5 $4.1 billion.
Wow.
In combined lost revenue. Comes out to about $78 million apiece. I don't care how big and bad you are. And obviously Arkansas's got Walmart, and they have Tyson Chicken, they got Jerry Jones. They got money. But that's money. That's wipeout money. That's canceling other sports money is what that is.
Right. That's leading to what we saw yesterday, actually, with Cincinnati announcing dropping soccer. Old Dominion dropped wrestling last month. So, right now, there are some schools that potentially are saving money because they're not doing spring sports. You get into fall and there's no football, now you're talking about a lot of shrinking athletic departments across the country.
We were talking this morning, had a Louisiana guy on with me every Wednesday, just Baton Rouge's economy on Fridays and Saturdays. Let's say you get 6, maybe 7 home games. You imagine the hit not having LSU football, what that city would take? You can't even quantify it. It'd be so crazy bad.
Right, and I had this conversation with a friend a few days ago about what that would do to Fayetteville. Even where attendance has been down in football for the last few years, but it's a matter of, I think these athletic departments and the conferences really, I think, will be making the calls on this. If they can start the money flowing any way possible, if there's no fans there, the cities are just going to have to deal with it because that's the only way to get money flowing again.
Hey, guys, quick note, and this is it'll come off as very insensitive, and I spent a lot of time with it this morning, but you know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
At some point, somebody with authority is going to have the guts to stand up in front of a whole lot of people and say, we do have a consideration to make, considering economics and health. Nobody wants to go there. That's just, you're not even allowed to go there without the Corona Bros attacking you. But I'm telling you, that's a conversation that's got to be had. And here's my question. Are we to the point where we can't start back? If one person gets sick, are we not allowed to have anybody sick? I know that sounds insensitive, but that's a real item, guys.
We got Bill King here on Halftime. Bill, I want to transition to college basketball just for a second. We've seen a couple of the higher-profile high school seniors, and instead of signing their national letter of intent to play college basketball, they're signing with the NBA G League. Do you think college basketball could, and maybe not necessarily right now, but in the years to come, if more players do this, that college basketball could be in danger?
Well, it's already got a perception issue, but yes, it would further damage it. There's a rumor Kentucky fans were all upset because, they have the number class every year. And, again, this one is too. And Terrence Clark, one of the better players in their class, they're signing a whole bunch of 6'7" guys in this class, and they're all fantastic. There's a rumor about him doing that. And he came out on Twitter and mentioned it and said, hey, guys, I'm not doing this. Doesn't mean he won't. And then Coach Cal came out and critically said something about it, too, about I love my team. But, that's becoming a thing. Now, how much more of an item will that be? I'm not sure yet. But if they're offering more money and you don't have to fake like you're going to class, some kids will opt to do that probably.
I want to keep it on basketball for a second. Me and Phil have been talking about it, and I'm sure a lot of your listeners are anxious for it. The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary. But me and Phil were talking in between breaks and everything that Michael Jordan possibly he was interviewed about it or something, but he might say some stuff that may not come across. Some fans may not like what he has to say on the documentary. First, I guess my big question: are you as excited as we are for The Last Dance to come on ESPN?
Guys, I have not turned on a sports channel since we started this mitigation. I haven't even yearned for it. Now, we talk a lot of college football. I'd love to watch that documentary, but I couldn't even tell you when it's on. I'm a big Michael Jordan fan. I think he's the best ever. And I don't like the newer generation saying that Kobe was better. He was awesome. Or LeBron James is better. I don't think there's ever been better than Michael Jordan. So I'd love to see it, but guys, I couldn't even tell you when's it on. I don't even know.
Starting
this Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a 10-part, 20-hour series. I mean, if you got 20 hours to spare in the next couple of months, I think it'll be worth our time.
I'll watch it just because of you guys.
Oh,
okay.
There
All
we
right.
go.
Cool. Then we can ask you about it. I wanted to ask one other question about football here because I feel like we have to like trust Bill Belichick in what's happening in New England. I guess I'm surprised that the only quarterback they've brought in is Brian Hoyer, and I don't know if they'll look for somebody in the draft, but it looks like Belichick is content with a battle between Hoyer and Jarrett Stidham as the next starting quarterback for the Patriots. And I don't think anybody thought Tom Brady would be a star when he came out of Michigan as a 6th-round pick. Stidham was a 4th-round pick out of Auburn. Is there anything that you saw in Stidham's time at Auburn that makes you think that he could be the Patriots quarterback of the current?
No. Followed him out of Texas. He was a big name recruit at the time, but no. Now, also, I will acknowledge that there's never been a better. Take a player, plug them in, and project them on your roster. Nobody does that better than Belichick. So I'm not going to sit here and say he can't do something, but I don't like the talent level there between the competition quarterbacks for them.
Yeah, I mean, even when Brady was at New England, they got Drew Bledsoe there. Somebody to learn from, somebody that knew how the position was played. Yeah, it was just interesting. And you think Belichick knows what he's doing, and he definitely does. So I have a tough time questioning him at the same time.
Right.
All right, last question before we let you go, Bill. We've been discussing. Today in 1972, the mustache returned to Major League Baseball. Reggie Jackson broke the mustache barrier. Of course, today's also Jackie Robinson Day, but I was going a little bit lighter. My favorite sports mustache, Lanny McDonald, defenseman, Calgary Flames, big, bright red one. Do you have a favorite sports mustache that stands out?
Probably Raleigh Fingers with a handlebar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's about as iconic as it gets. Do you ever do facial hair, Bill, yourself?
No. I'm from a very private school, conservative, no facial hair, no tattoos, no rings other than one on your finger. I'm from that world.
Okay. All right. Well, so you probably would fit with the New York Yankees of those days, too, because they didn't allow any facial hair. We appreciate you, Bill.
The old man would have liked me, yes.
Yeah, I think he would have. I think so. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio. We'll be with them next week. Thanks, Bill.
Appreciate it, guys.
You got it. Hey, it is coming up to the last segment of halftime. We will have a Change My Mind, 877-377-6963. I'm a little surprised Bill didn't know about The Last Dance when it was coming on. But it does, it shows, when you focus in on one specific topic for most of the show. And Bill's mostly doing college football, 312 months out of the year. It's a bubble that we live in occasionally, and I would have thought he would have known about The Last Dance, especially being a Michael Jordan fan.
It's going to be good.
I guess he can thank us for basically forcing him to watch it. We'll come back after the break. Cherry on the top, Change My Mind. Stay tuned.
Sports fans, cheer up. No sports? No problem. Bet on live horse racing with BetUSRacing.com. You can bet on horses from the safety and comfort of your own home. You can also play blackjack, roulette, and over 200 casino games at BetUSRacing.com. Will Trump be elected the next president of the United States? Place your bets at BetUSRacing.com. How about a $500 welcome bonus for ESPN Arkansas listeners? Just go to www.BetUSRacing.com/morningrush. That's www.BetUSRacing.com/morningrush. BetUSRacing.com, the answer to your betting prayers.
When it comes to your gas bill, one size does not fit all. So AOG offers many payment options. Did you know you can arrange to pay online with the click of a mouse or pay by phone? You can even sign up for automatic bill payment from your checking or savings account. AOG also has a paperless billing option to reduce that clutter in your mailbox. Of course, you can bring your payment to our 24-hour drop box or to one of many convenient locations throughout our service area. To find a payment option that's a perfect fit, visit AOGC.com.
Are your appliances struggling? Do you need that part and not sure where to go? Mid-South Distributing has you covered with 9 locations in the Arkansas area. Appliance parts and accessories for all major brands of appliance. Mid-South Distributing has you, the customer, in mind when you're needing that part for your appliance. Mid-South Distributing. Check out midsouthparts.com to find your location near you. Mid-South Distributing. We're in your neighborhood.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
Bria's Fashion Boutique is the worst. First, they asked me if I needed help finding anything. Just because I'm gorgeous doesn't mean I need help.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Then they tell me they're having a sale. Oh, so you're assuming I'm poor. Cool.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial, auto, and business insurance.
Also, they tried to give me the friends and family discount. I'm not your friend, so...
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
Guys, waking up over and over to pee is not okay. But now, you can reduce those nighttime bathroom trips with the ingredients in Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced. We're talking about less urges to pee at night, less bathroom trips during the day, and better bladder emptying.
It's like taking 3 prostate supplements in one.
You can try a full 30-day bottle of P3 Advanced, free. Just pay shipping and handling. No strings attached, no obligations, and no commitments to buy. This is a 30-day supply, absolutely free.
Call 1-800-479-6590.
Super Beta Prostate is the best-selling brand in major retailers like Walmart. But for this no-strings-attached free bottle, you must call now.
Call 1-800-479-6590.
Don't miss out on this unprecedented free offer.
Call 1-800-479-6590. 1-800-479-6590.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, City!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Stewart's open. Stewart. 1 on the shot clock. Thurman beat it. Oh! He got it! Three-pointer!
It's been a fun show today, usually is. We've got a big show tomorrow, which includes our usual Thursday guest Bob Holt and Arkansas Athletic Director Hunter Yurachek, scheduled to join us at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And, one of the things that I've noticed when we're talking about when and if sports return after this coronavirus pandemic, where we have more of a handle on it, a lot of people continue to say what they believe, or what they hope for, without it really being a fully informed opinion. And I think I'm probably guilty of that at the same time. I think all of us are. What I'm interested in hearing from Hunter Yurachek, because I don't think he has any true understanding of when or if football will return than anybody else. I think in the next couple of weeks we'll have a better idea of when sports returns. I want to know how you feel about what it is that you're living through. And can you imagine being in Hunter Yurachek's shoes, where, just picture what his tenure at Arkansas has already been like. You're hired as the athletic director like a week after the football coach is hired. And then you go on to watch said football coach have 2 of the most miserable years that a football coach can ever have, while at the same time firing a well-known and well-liked basketball coach in Mike Anderson, going through the coaching search, bringing in Eric Musselman. 6 months later, fire Chad Morris during the football season, go through that coaching search that unearthed Sam Pittman, and you're thinking, well, at this point, that's not like he wouldn't have had to hire other coaches at some point, but to hire a football coach and a basketball coach at a major Division I school over a 7-month period, boy, that is a lot going on. And then you figure, well, maybe now you can just sort of sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. And here it is. The COVID-19 pandemic takes over, and now you got to figure out how to navigate the waters of uncertainty over the upcoming few months and probably trim the athletic budget. So it's just it'd be interesting to get his thoughts on his mindset, on what these 2 years have been like, and, what the next really, we can say, what's it going to be like in the next 6 weeks? What about the next 4 weeks? Because I feel like the next 4 to 6 weeks will have more to do as what the next 6 months look like.
I 100% agree.
Else. So I'm excited to get Hunter on with us tomorrow to discuss stuff like that. But today we close out the show with Change My Mind.
I changed my mind.
Hi, Joey.
Hey, how you doing?
He won't sell anybody out to buy his future.
How can you be so obtuse? What did you call me? Obtuse? Is it deliberate?
Son, you are forgetting yourself.
Change my mind.
So I mentioned this about an hour ago about the Last Dance documentary detailing the last year of Michael Jordan with the Chicago Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 2 versions that will air. One of them that'll air on ESPN has everything that you would hear inside the locker room. I mean everything. Every F-bomb, every MF, every S-word, every bad nickname you could call a teammate. Michael Jordan, he's not the only one. It's not just him. It's pretty much athletes in general have pretty filthy mouths when they're all around each other, and I think most of us do too. Then there's the ESPN2 version of The Last Dance, which will sound a little bit more like this.
What's my opinion of Kingler's performance? What the you think is my opinion of it? I think it was put that in. I don't opinion of his performance. He beat us with 3 home runs. What the can you mean? What is my opinion of his performance? How could you ask me a question like that? What is my opinion of his performance? He hit 3 home runs.
It's a famous rant from 1978 from then Dodgers manager Tommy Lasorda. He was asked a question.
That's
after
a slim,
losing.
fast guy, right?
Yeah, it's the slim, fast guy. That's right. Oh, I love the connections we make, Matty T.
That's how I knew him when I was a kid.
And he's also the photo that Fletch punches in the sheriff's office in the movie Fletch. Tommy, you and Tommy Lasorda. I hate Tommy Lasorda. Anyway, Lasorda's rant to the reporter who asked what he thought about Kingman's performance after Dave Kingman had 3 homers against him is classic. But it just doesn't have the same impact. It doesn't entertain quite the same with bleeps instead of the real English words that he was saying. So I would say this. I'm not advocating for those of you who have children to force them to watch the dirty version, the ESPN version, the adult version. Could we call it the R-rated version of The Last Dance? Look, ESPN does not use these words.
They're owned by
On
Disney.
the usual basis. That's right. They're not. They just don't. Unless, and in some cases, there's nothing they can do about it. Like I remember a College World Series game that we were broadcasting 2 years ago, and ESPN gives us the sounds from the field, and you can hear everything going on down there. And I remember an at-bat where Carson Shaddy struck out, and he fired his bat down on the bat rack and might have dropped a word that I'm not allowed to say right now. But that was an accident. It was, I think, more understandable. What might change my mind here is if you really want to get a sense of what the Bulls were like then, when they're showing scenes in the locker room, when they're showing Michael Jordan talking smack to his own teammates in practice, you need the real colorful version to get a full sense of it. a beep, while you might have known what the guy said, does not fully give the feeling of the moment. That's why a properly placed swear word is always going to be more forceful and more to the point than a properly placed beep. So for me, I'm watching the ESPN version instead of the Deuce. Change my mind.
It's going to be I can't change my mind because that's probably what I'm going to do because, I mean, yes, filthy language is what it is, but how they're going to probably – and knowing ESPN and knowing how they've done 30 for 30s in the past, and I know this isn't really a 30 for 30, quote-unquote, but the way they've told stories in the past, and if you add that little bit of language in there, it can drive home the story a whole lot better than a beep can, like you were talking about. So
I just have a feeling that some of the scenes in the locker room are just going to be – you won't be able to hear a darn word because it's just going to be one beep after the other.
Yeah,
locker rooms are like that sometimes.
Yeah.
How many times have you put on one of your favorite movies, like, on a basic cable channel, but it's so,
right.
like a Tarantino movie or something, and it just ruins the whole experience.
Right, or like try to watch Goodfellas or Casino.
Goodfellas is a good one, yep.
It doesn't work.
I mean, parents will watch Major League, and I think it was on, like, the MLB Network or something like that. And it has everything beeped out, which it's still a good movie.
You know what I hate is when they put in alternate phrases, like something that doesn't really make sense. But
and you can tell it's edited.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
Like somebody wrote the script with autocorrect.
Yes.
A lot of ducking thrown into the script for some reason.
Might change my mind. Dak Prescott has. Well, did you hear about all the stuff that Dak Prescott and Ezekiel throwing?
Yeah, they were throwing parties.
So apparently, Dak says less than 10 people were there. Who knows? Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, right.
Interesting. That's the number he picked, since 10 is the
limit,
the new.
Yeah. Might change my mind with everything that's been going on with that. Then you add in the contract problems that they've been having, trying to get him signed to a long-term deal, but he wants more years and not more money. Who knows? I'm going to lead on the fact that I don't think Dak Prescott will be the quarterback for the Cowboys by the end of the year. Someone else is going to be taking over, whether that be in the draft if they draft a quarterback. I know I've seen some people say they need to go get Tua and almost groom him to be the next Cowboys starting quarterback, but who knows? But I don't think Dak Prescott will be the quarterback by the end of the year.
Wow,
changed my mind.
That's an interesting one. I don't see how they move on from Dak Prescott just yet. There's been so much trying to sign him. I think that's the direction they're going. And whether or not he's holding parties when he shouldn't is I don't think that's going to bother the Cowboys to the point where they don't want him.
Good conversation tomorrow.
Yeah, perhaps, because we do have to do a show tomorrow,
we
right?
do. We're here.
Which will involve Bob Holt and Hunter Yurachek and you, our listeners, and Matty T and SmackDown and me, Phil. Now, get up, get out, and get better.